Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, and San Jose, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for the tickets. So there's a big hysteria right now that's being manufactured by the media that's owned by Big Pharma about measles. Now, when I was a kid, I used to watch a show called The Brady Bunch, and nobody freaked out about measles. In fact, kids got happy when they got measles, and I'm going to prove it to you. Here's from a network television show called The Brady Bunch, and they all get measles. Watch this.
Hi. Peter, what are you doing home from school?
They sent me home. Measles.
That's either measles or a strange case of red freckles.
You have got a temperature.
They told me 101.1. What's the record?
Never mind.
Oh, are you sure it's the measles?
Well, he certainly got all the symptoms. A slight temperature, a lot of dots, and a great big smile.
A great big smile.
No school for a few days.
Say hello to my dotted son for me. Tell him I'll bring him some comic books and I'll see you later, dear.
Okay, honey, bye.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it? Yeah. If you have to get sick, you sure can't beat the measles. That's right. No medicine.
Inside or out? Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots. Yeah.
So that was how people used to treat getting the measles. Like it was a fun couple of days home from school, and you didn't have to take any medicine for it. Kids would kind of self-immunize themselves from the measles by having it. And then they would build
chicken pox. When I was a kid, I had chicken pox. No, I didn't have measles because I got a measles shot. And like I like to say, I never had to think about measles again, which is what I thought vaccines did.
You know,
I don't know why it's coming up again.
Having to run to the doctor to get another injection for every single thing, that's not progress. That's called propaganda.
Yeah, well, urban neurotics are creating that. Like in the cities, everybody I know that doesn't know jack shit about shit, all of them are on antidepressants. Every single last goddamn one are on antidepressants, and it warps your brain.
It does. And so that's how the TV used to present measles. Now, this is how the TV, which has now been bought by Big Pharma, is talking about measles. You ready?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. Dad says I should go to school.
7 students confirmed with measles, 4 others possible.
My God.
They had to have been vaccinated.
These moms never vaccinated their kids and lied about it. Vaccines are harmful.
You are endangering the health of every child in this city.
Liv, no, it's turning blue.
Call 911.
All new SVU next Wednesday at 9.
Oh my God, measles! Oh my God, measles!
Wow, Law and Order SVU. I mean, they've always been real crap, but the stand-up comedy episode was like, to me, the high water mark of them being the worst. But this is really something.
Measles didn't used to be considered deadly, but now people are so sickly and frail and weakened by the chemicals in their medicine and in their food and in their water and their environment that maybe we'll grab a few of them.
Well, plus I take a flu shot and I take my COVID shots that make my T cells go to sleep so they don't stay up all night and keep me awake.
As soon as Trump took office and RFK Jr. was confirmed, the media started telling us that we are experiencing an unprecedented measles outbreak.
Yeah, where?
Like almost everything the media says, it's a ridiculous lie. And here, yearly measles cases. So if you go back to 1995, there was a big bump in 1990. It was up to almost 30,000 cases. And then and then it's nothing.
30,000 cases.
30,000.
That's like way less people than Israel genocided this past summer.
That's right. And we are here. This is where we are. And
so it's lower.
Former guest of the show, Mary Talley Bowden, who was a COVID truth teller, she says, outbreak or political propaganda, measles cases in the U.S. by year. And she shows the same thing. Oh, look, there was one. So just over 1,000 in 2019, and then none in 2020. And then here we are right now, 222. So what are they talking about? And what Robert Malone, friends of the show, says, this is psychological bioterrorism.
It's just mind control. Remember, what was that mass something formation psychosis they called it?
Yeah.
Remember they call it mass? Yeah, it's mind control. It's mind fancy words for all the same thing. Mass mind control. That's how they do it. The shows that your Meemaw and Peepaw watch, like Law and Order Rape Cop, they do that to them there. They're going to probably have something about Islamist threats on the next Law and Order. Maybe something about China. They already did China is mean to Falun Gong.
So RFK went on Fox and he talked about this a week ago, and here's what he said about this measles.
I've been in touch with the governor, with Governor Abbott, who I talked to last week. As you know, a little girl died. She was a member of the Mennonite community. She was unvaccinated. And she's the first measles death since 2015 in our country, the second measles death since 2005.
The second measles death in the United States since 2005. How many deaths have happened from the flu?
Measles is less deadly than Tylenol by a lot.
He goes on.
So, the disease is a self-limiting childhood disease, and the little girl who died, where malnutrition may have been an issue in her death. So there's a lot.
So he's saying that the little girl who died, malnutrition may have played a role in her dying from it. Oh. And watch, listen to him explain this.
Poverty in that area, the food is kind of a food desert. The best thing that Americans can do is to keep themselves healthy. It's very, very difficult. It's for measles to kill a healthy person. So if you're healthy, well-nourished, in fact, measles at one point was killing about 10,000 people a year in our country at the time, but those deaths were eliminated through nutrition and sanitation. In 1963, prior to the introduction of the vaccine, there was about 400 people who died from measles. Almost all of them were malnourished children. CDC in the past has not done a good job at quantifying the risks of vaccines. We are going to do that now so that people can make a real informed choice about what's best for them, for their families, and their communities. My approach to this issue is just going to be absolute radical transparency. We're going to get the information. We have a vaccine surveillance system in this country that just doesn't work. The CDC system, the CDC was ordered in 1986. And when Congress gave immunity from liability to vaccine companies, it ordered CDC to create a surveillance system that really captures all vaccine injuries. Under CDC's own studies show that the current system that we have, the VAERS system, the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, captures fewer than 1% of vaccine injury. That is absolutely inexcusable. People need to know. We don't know what the risk profile is for these products. Americans have the right to know, to be able to make an informed choice. You need to know the costs and the benefits. And we've never quantified the cost. And that's why there's so much mistrust. And we need to restore government trust. And we're going to do that by telling the truth and by doing rigorous science to understand both safety and efficacy issues.
So that's what he had to say about the measles and the vaccines. Then he wrote this. This was before that. He had posted this March 2nd. Bobby Kennedy says measles outbreak is a call of action for all of us. MMR vaccine is crucial to avoiding potentially deadly disease. That's the subheadline from him.
When was this?
From him. This was March 2nd. He wrote that.
What is MMR vaccine?
That's the measles, mumps, rubella. So there he is, pushing the MMR vaccine. But then he goes on to say this in the article. Listen, it is also our responsibility to provide up-to-date guidance on available therapeutic medications, meaning non-vaccine medications. So once you get sick, the therapies. While there is no approved antiviral for those who may be infected with measles, the CDC has recently updated their recommendation supporting administration of vitamin A, under the supervision of a physician for those with mild, moderate, and severe infection. Studies have
things
found
they didn't do on the COVID vaccine.
Studies have found that vitamin A can dramatically reduce measles mortality. Really? Maybe that's why Bill Gates is trying to block out the sun so that he can sell us genetically modified vitamin A. Parents play a pivotal role in safeguarding their children's health. All parents should consult with their healthcare providers to understand their options to get the MMR vaccine. The decision to vaccinate is a personal one. Vaccines not only protect individual children from measles, but also contribute to community immunity, protecting those who are unable to be vaccinated due to medical reasons. Tens of thousands died with or of measles annually in the 19th century America, but by 1960, before the vaccine's introduction, improvements in sanitation and nutrition had eliminated 98% of deaths from measles. Good nutrition remains the best defense against most chronic and infectious illnesses. Vitamins A, C, and D, and foods rich in vitamins B12, C, and E should be part of a balanced diet. So that was him giving a balanced article, a balanced view of what we should be doing about measles. And in fact, here's the studies he talked about. I went to the Oxford International Journal of Epidemiology, effectiveness of measles vaccinations and vitamin A treatment. The results, I'll skip down the results. We included 6 high-quality random control trials in the meta-analysis of vitamin A treatment of measles, which found no significant reduction in measles mortality. But there's more. However, when stratifying by vitamin A treatment dose, at least 2 doses were found to reduce measles mortality by 62%. So if you were deficient in vitamin A and they gave you 2 doses of it, it reduced mortality by 62%. This is the study he's talking about, or studies. Conclusion: measles vaccine and vitamin A treatment are effective interventions to prevent measles mortality in children. So he's telling you the part that they won't tell you on TV news because they're funded by the people selling you vaccines, not selling you vitamin A.
This is not the same as an mRNA vaccine.
So, no, the MMR
this is an actual
is
vaccine.
Yeah, this
but
is
the news said he's against all vaccines automatically. The concept of vaccine.
So,
but they told me he's against it.
So, when he wrote that, here comes the hit pieces. New York Times: without offering proof, Kennedy links measles outbreak to poor diet and health.
Oh, without offering proof. Imagine someone doing that. Are you joking?
I just showed you the study. Here's another headline. Fact check: RFK Jr. misleads on vitamin A, unsupported therapy for measles. I just showed you.
He also said the vaccine's
effective.
Okay.
Vitamin A is effective. And he said that the vaccine's effective too.
Are you saying mainstream media is lying to me, Jimmy?
I'm telling you, mainstream media is doing a hit job on RFK Jr. around measles, and it looks like they're causing a panic. They're causing a panic because here's where we are. Here's where we were in 2019.
What?
Here's where we were in 1990, 30,000. So 2019, that was just a little over 1,000 people had measles. Then it went away. Then it went away because of COVID. Now we're back down to 222.
Oh, COVID cures measles. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So do you see these? Measles outbreak is call to action for all of that. And that's the article I just showed you. Here's the MSNBC. I'm a doctor. Don't fall for this myth about vitamin A and measles. The myth.
What doctor?
The myth that's published in the Oxford International Journal of Epidemiology. Wow. That myth, that vitamin A and vaccines are effective interventions. You mean that myth? So again, if you're listening to Big Pharma funded media, they're lying to you again. They're lying to you. So I'm a doctor. Don't fall for this myth about vitamin A and measles. And whatever you do, Don't look into it. Whatever you do, don't do what Jimmy Dore did and do his own research and go to the Oxford International Journal of Epidemiology, where it states that measles vaccines and vitamin A treatment are effective interventions to prevent measles mortality in children. Whatever you do, don't do that. Because then you'll know that everything that the pharma-funded media is telling you is a fucking lie. And let's listen to Miss Corruption, Pocahontas herself.
Jr. said a child dying of measles in the United States was, quote, not unusual. Really? We just had a child die from measles, the first measles death in our country in almost a decade. Maybe
the first one in a decade. So the lowest priority of disease I've heard of this
I've
year.
ever heard. I've ever heard.
Is it like this is unbelievable.
I know.
Instead of telling people that the best defense against the disease is a bunch of vitamins, he should put his full and clear...
A bunch of vitamins?
I think he said get the vaccine for it. It was okay to get it.
He said get the MMR vaccine, and he said also vitamin A. And that's what the studies show.
Was historic Pocahontas a liar? I don't remember hearing that.
Me neither.
I don't know if that name applies to her.
Support behind the science-backed best defense against measles, the measles vaccine. So I asked him a simple question. Will he change course and encourage parents to vaccinate their kids against measles? Yes or no? With children's lives on the line, it should be an easy yes. Let's hear it.
So
the onesie.
The vaccine queen certainly puts the poke back into Pocahontas.
Jabahontas over here.
It took the risk of her losing her pharmaceutical share profits to get her to pretend to give a crap about the death of a child. She can't golly gosh us anymore. We know she's a big liar. And guess what? And Tribalism in Politics posted this. Elizabeth Warren is once again attacking RFK Jr., this time over measles. Interesting how she never criticized the former Health and Human Services Secretary for any of the 16 measles outbreaks in the United States last year.
Oh, 16.
For the record, Senator RFK Jr. recommends vitamins for children currently battling measles. Why? Because the measles vaccine cannot be administered to an actively infected child. It's extremely dangerous.
How a veterinarian told me that with my dog. It's such common knowledge that you can't do that. It's a vaccine's preventative. It's not, you can't take it after you're sick. How is that mysterious knowledge now?
But Warren wouldn't know that. Despite her newfound health guru persona, she hasn't spent more than 5 minutes researching these topics. She just knows that attacking RFK Jr. gets clicks and campaign donations. Pathetic.
Oh, so if she's getting donations, that's what it's a money.
Of course. Of course. So if you want to know the science, here's the science. Oxford International Journal of Epidemiology. Effectiveness of measles. Here, you want to know what it is? Here it is. Conclusion: measles vaccine and vitamin A treatment are effective interventions to prevent measles mortality in children. And by the way, that's what RFK Jr. recommended. He recommended the vaccine and vitamin A. Just like
by the way, measles, a thing that kills less people than most of the cures for things that they make.
Hey, what if getting life-saving medication was as simple as 1, 2, 3? Select your meds, get the prescriptions, and have it shipped straight to your door. What? That's how easy healthcare should be, and that's exactly what All Family Pharmacy does. No more jumping through hoops to get a prescription like ivermectin, no more hassle. Just quick, easy access to the meds you need when you need them. That's not your typical pharmacy. They cut out the red tape and make it simple to get your hands on medications like ivermectin, antibiotics, maintenance meds, emergency kits, and more. Check them out. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/door. That's D-O-R-E. They work with doctors to handle prescriptions for you. Simply order online, choose the meds you need, and get them shipped right to your door in just a few days. Fast, reliable access to what you and your family needs. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/door and use the code DOOR10 for a 10% off your order. Isn't that nice? Get the meds you need today because your health should be in your hands. Again, go to allfamilypharmacy.com/door and use the code DOOR10 to get 10% off your order today. Come see us do stand-up in Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Levittown, New York, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, and San Jose, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for the tickets.